Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and we're going to be doing some Generaider test hands. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name in the description of every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So this deck is an extremely powerful deck that I've been playing a lot recently. I absolutely love Generaider because this deck can make some really insane fields. Even being able to take 2 cards out of your opponent's hand on the very first turn, which is absolutely amazing. This deck is really fun at just activating your copy of Generaider boss stage and just basically summoning out any boss you want during your opponent's turn, which is super cool. And we don't draw into that combo that we can actually take 2 cards out of the opponent's hand on the very first test hand. I'll actually set it up and show you guys that one after the first test hand. But this deck is super fun. I absolutely love Generaider. So you guys know it's dad rule number 1 that you've got to pile shuffle the deck or you run the risk of bricking. So now that we got the deck pile shuffle, let's go ahead and shuffle it up and see what we can do for our first test hand. So let's go ahead and draw our 5 and see what we can draw. So we're going to draw a copy of Boss Stage right off the bat. That's amazing. A copy of Infinite Impermanence, Diviner, a copy of Infinite Impermanence, and a copy of Ash. This is actually a really good hand. We have 3 interruptions right off the bat against the opponent. If we are going second, we're basically telling them no to everything, which is amazing. Plus, we have a Barrel and Day Fleur with the copy of Diviner. So let's go ahead and play out this hand. So what we're going to do is normal summon out the copy of Diviner. Diviner will go off and actually let us send from our deck to the graveyard our copy of Trias. Trias is amazing to go ahead and get in the graveyard because it's actually going to help us make a copy of Baron de Fleur. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and tribute the copy of our Diviner on our side of the field to special summon out our copy of our Trias. Trias will then be on the field and our copy of Diviner will go off to special summon a level 2 or lower fairy monster from our deck, which is going to be a copy of Booten. Booten is amazing in this particular instance because what you can do is with this card being a level 1 tuner and this card being a level 9, you can go ahead and synchro these 2 cards together to be able to make a copy of Baron de Fleur. Baron de Fleur is really good to be able to put in the main monster zone because it'll actually make you Nibiru proof because you'll only summon 4 monsters off of Generaider boss stage during your opponent's turn. You will get 1 less token, but that's totally fine because they're going to go to the graveyard during the end phase anyways. And since we're going to summon out Har, you're only going to be able to use 2 tokens on your side of the field. So we're going to go ahead and activate our copy of Generaider Boss Stage, set both copies of Infinite Impermanence to our side of the field, and then pass over to the opponent. Now when they draw, Generaider Boss Stage will go off, and we will get to special summon any boss we want from our deck to our side of the field, which is going to be a copy of Har. Har is the best one to be able to summon out to our side of the field because this card is a walking negate and also has the ability if your opponent searches the deck and adds any card from their deck to their hand, except during the draw, you basically get the ability to make them send a monster from their side of the field or their hand to the graveyard as well, which is great because this card deals with 2 cards at the same time, which is amazing. So at this point, what we're going to do is also get our tokens on our side of the field because we did summon a Generaider boss off of Boss Stage's ability during our opponent's turn, and then now we also have the ability to flip both the Imperms and Ash our opponent. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 negates on our side of the field to basically stop every card in our opponent's hand as well, which is insane. They'll be left with like 1 card, which is just really good. Because you can use Har to be able to stop a card as a negate. You have Baron de Fleur to stop a card. You have both Imperms to stop a card. And then you also can stop your opponent from searching with Ash or just make them send a monster to the graveyard, which is insane. And then on the next turn, you have follow-up plays because you also are going to be able to draw for turn, which we're going to go ahead and draw into a copy of Nibiru and then just switch these cards to attack position and do 6,000 directly to your opponent. Then you're going to let them go. They're going to be top decking at this point. And then next turn, you're going to go ahead and draw again and then just go in for game at that point. So let's go ahead and set up that play and show you guys how to get 2 cards out of your opponent's hand during the very first turn, which is just really insane. Like, I love it. Basically, it's just a 3-card combo and all the cards are interchangeable except for 1 with this particular combo. So World Legacy Monstrosity is the card that's not interchangeable with this. You can either draw into a copy of Lopter or a copy of Vala with this particular combo. It's better to draw into the copy of Lopter, so I'm going to show you that version of it. And then any Generator boss that is not Mardell. So we're just going to go ahead and throw a copy of Har, because we do have double Har in this build. If you guys would like to check out the deck profile, as always, definitely check it out down in the description down below, and definitely go give it a like, which really helps out the channel. So let's go ahead and show you guys what you can do with this particular combo. We're going to put that copy of Vala back, because we're just going to show you guys what you can do. This can be any Generator boss, a copy of Vala or Lopter, and a copy of World Legacy Monstrosity. So what we're going to do is normal summon out the copy of our Lopter, activate the effect of Lopter to tribute itself, and then we're going to special summon out our copy of Mardell, which is why we do not want to have Mardell in our hand, because we want to be able to special summon it. If it is Mardell, we won't get the search of our boss stage right here. So we're going to go ahead and use the effect of our World Legacy Monstrosity to be able to activate it and go ahead and target the copy of Mardell to special summon out 2 more generators from our deck, which is going to be a copy of Vala. They have to be different attributes and different types. This is fairy, this is plant, this is light. So you cannot special summon out your copy of Utgard because it is also light, which is a little bit of a downside, but that's totally fine because we want to keep that card in the deck anyways. So what we're going to do is now special summon out our copy of Needhog to our side of the field. No effect of Vala right here. If you activate Vala's effect right here, you're only going to be able to bring back Lopter to your side of the field, so you don't want to do that. So what we're going to do is now overlay 2 of the Generator boss monsters on our side of the field into making a copy of an XZ. So we're going to go ahead and overlay them both into a copy of Enter Blafnir. Enter Blafnir is very important to be able to make here, because now we're going to detach the copy of Vala. Make sure that you detach Vala specifically, because we're going to bring that card back. Use its effect, take a card out of the opponent's hand. This dice is going to represent that. And then now at this point, we're going to go ahead and send any Generator boss we have in our hand to the graveyard and special summon back our copy of Vala. Vala's effect will go off and special summon a Generator boss back from the graveyard because of its ability that if it is special summon, you get to bring back a Generator boss. So then we're going to go overlay both of these, make another copy of Enter Blafnir right over here. And then once you do, you're going to use its ability to then again detach your copy of Vala from your copy of your Enter Blafnir, rip another card out of the opponent's hand so they have 3 cards in their hand. And now you're going to overlay both of these together. And then once you do, you're going to go ahead and make your F0 and then Draco Future, which is going to give you a monster negate as well, which is amazing to be able to do. And you get to keep the copy of Har on your side of the field, which is amazing. So with this, you did search your field spell, which we're going to activate. You have a monster negate and you have a hand rip. So you get your, out of that combo, you got a copy of a Har, which is going to be a negate. You have your copy of your Draco Future, which is going to be a negate. And you have Boss Stage, which is going to get you another boss, which is going to be Utgard, to be able to banish a card off the field. So I'm going to show you guys how that plays out. So we're going to pass over to the opponent. They start with 4 cards now instead of 6. So we're going to go ahead and let them draw. And once they draw, we're going to use the effect of our Generator boss stage to special summon out Utgard to our side of the field. Also, make sure that as you're playing the deck, you're special summoning your generators in defense position, because you don't take battle damage from defense position monsters. The only downside is your tokens must be in attack position, which is a little bit of a downside, but that's okay. Because now we have the ability of Utgard to be able to banish a card from the field by tributing a rock monster or 2 Generator monsters. So you have to tribute 2 monsters in total, which is Generator or rock monsters, to be able to banish a card. And then you have Har's ability to be able to negate something, and you have this to negate something. So they're only going to have 1 card left to be able to use against the opponent, or to use against us, because we're going to banish something, we're going to negate something, and we're going to negate a monster here. And plus, if they search, we're going to take a card out of their hand. So they can basically just lose all 4, and then we go into the next turn and we draw into an Ash, and then we just swing again for 3k with these 2. They're going to be top decking. We get another boss on our side of the field, and then we just keep going in for game, which is amazing. If we do draw into any Generator card, we can bring Vala back from the grave and basically end the game there, because we can do 9,000 damage with your copy of Vala, and I'll show you guys exactly how that works. So if it's our turn again, and we're going to draw, I'm going to specifically show you guys what happens if you draw into any Generator card. So we're just going to put a copy of Lopter on top. So if we draw in the next turn with this particular field, our opponent has nothing left because we've negated everything that they used. We're going to go ahead and draw into anything. Whoa, we got a Generator. We're going to use the effect, send this card to graveyard, bring back the Vala, which a lot of you might be wondering, why is this card not banished? When you detach it as a material, it wasn't on the field, so it will go to the graveyard, which is wild, but really cool. So we're going to bring back our copy of Vala, then bring back our copy of Mardell, and it will search you a Generaider card, which we're just going to search out a copy of a Lopter for follow-up. And then at this point, we're going to overlay both of these to be able to make our copy of, let's make Leviathan. You can go ahead and make Leviathan, and at this point, this is 8,500 on board, which is really good to be able to OTK. If our opponent does happen to have cards on the field, you can just detach from this and eat them, and turn this card into a copy of Jormungandr, and then whatever our opponent has on the field, these are our opponent's cards, you just attach to this card because you can eat 2 cards off the field because it had 2 materials under it. Then you can use Jormungandr's ability to detach a material from itself, and then both players draw a card, and then both players attach a card to your copy of Jormungandr, so this card will be at 3k, then you can swing. So you get those really good plays, and it's like 9,000 damage on board with that combo to just win the game on the follow-up turn if you draw into any Generaider card. It could be boss stage, Lopter, boss fight, anything, any boss, it doesn't matter. You just want to get something that you can send to the graveyard off so you can actually use your copy of Vala to bring back a Generaider boss. So let's go ahead and shuffle up the deck and show you guys some more plays that you can pull off with this particular build, because this deck is wild. You can pull off some really insane plays like that. Being able to just get rid of 2 cards out of your opponent's hand, establish like a double negate, get your field spell, and get it set up for plays. And the really insane thing is with that particular combo, you'd also have 2 more cards in your hand. So you could already have the Generaider boss when you go into that play, that you already have it in your hand, which is insane. Or you could have another copy of boss stage already, or you could have like 2 hand traps to be able to stop your opponent, or prosperities to dig into the deck. So you pretty much just have like crazy plays. If you go first and see Monstrosity, Lopter, and any other Generaider card that's a boss, you have like full combo. So let's go ahead and draw and see what we can do. So we're drawing a copy of Triple Tactics Thrust, Lopter, a copy of Diviner, a copy of Trias, and a copy of Ash. So this is an interesting hand, and I can show you how to summon out both of these to your side of the field. So what we're going to do is we're going to normal summon Diviner. We're going to use Diviner's effect, and that's something really cool is Diviner is not limited to just Trias. You can use your copy of Vala in the deck. I thought that was a Vala because I saw fire. We're going to go ahead and send Vala to the grave, and now we can use the ability of Diviner with their copy of Trias, which is actually Trias' ability, to tribute the copy of Diviner to special summon out the copy of Trias. Then we can actually special summon out to our side of the field Butin, which is going to get us an additional monster on our side of the field. So now we can synchro these 2 together, which is just 3 summons that we've performed so far to make our 4th summon, our Baron de Fleur. Now at this point, we're going to use the effect of our Vala in the graveyard to be able to send our copy of Lopter to the grave to special summon it to our side of the field. Now it does not say level 9, it says any Generaider card. So we can bring back our copy of our Lopter, which is amazing, because this card says, if this card is in the hand or grave, send one other Generaider card from your hand or from your hand to the grave, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. If this card is special summoned, you can actually special summon a Generaider monster from your hand or grave, except a copy of Vala, and it doesn't negate the effect. So we can actually tribute our copy of Lopter here, summon out our copy of Mardell, and we're also going to get the field spell off of this, which is amazing to be able to just get to it. With that hand, you guys probably saw, oh, I can make Baron. But you can actually get Vala and your copy of Lopter on the field, and Baron, and an Ash, and Triple Tact. Like, this deck is, like, if you're limited by what you see with your combos with this deck, which is really amazing because there's so many cool combos. So we're going to use the copy of Mardell to be able to grab Boss Stage. So now at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to add that Boss Stage to hand, and we're going to overlay both of these to be able to make our copy of Leviathan. So now we have a negate with the Baron. We have this that can eat 2 cards off our opponent's field and drop our opponent's monsters down by 1,000 attack points. And we have the copy of our Boss Stage on the field. And we have an Ash. So we have basically a double interruption with this that will turn into a copy of our Jormungandr if we just want to summon it out. We have Baron de Fleur, which is a negate. We have Ash that's a negate. And then during the opponent's turn, we're going to use the effect of Ball Stage. So we're going to pass over to the opponent. And we're going to summon out a copy of Har off the copy of Ball Stage, which is then going to generate us 1, 2, 3 tokens on our side of the field. And we're going to be Nibiru proof because we have not summoned more than 5 times. We've only summoned 4 times with these 4 on our side of the field, which is crazy because now if we do tag into this by using the effect of Leviathan's ability, we can just negate the copy of Nibiru with our copy of Har or our Baron de Fleur. So basically you're just Nibiru proof entirely, which is insane because this was actually the 4th summon, so we're basically Nibiru proof there too. So, again, you can eat 2 cards off the field with your copy of Leviathan because this card has a really cool ability, that quick effect. You can tribute this XZ summon card, special summon a non-fairy Generaider XZ monster from your X deck, then attach cards from the field and or graveyard to that special summon monster as material up to the number of materials this card had, which is 2, so you can basically just take 2 of your opponent's cards off their field and attach to the new Jormungandr that you're going to make on top of Leviathan. So you have a double interruption, an Ash, a negate, and a negate, and a negate. So you have basically 5 interruptions against the opponent. Plus, if they search, you're going to stop them again there, which is insane. And if they stopped you at any point, you have Thrust. And Thrust is insane in this deck because it helps you get to your copy of Boss Fight. So if they stopped you at any point and asked you on like the Mardell or something, you could just set your copy of Boss Fight and guarantee you're going to get the field spell at bare minimum. So you do get more plays here, and the copy of Jormungandr is going to go up to like 3,000 because you can detach material, both players draw and both players attach. So if you didn't use this during your turn, you can just attach it and you won't need it anyways. So let's go ahead and go and do one more test hand just to show you guys how powerful this deck is. I think I've shown you guys how powerful this deck is so far, but let's do one more just to show you guys the consistency. Because Generaider is quickly becoming one of my favorite decks to play because it's so fun and like the art is amazing. Like, have you guys looked at Har? like this card is amazing. This card looks awesome, and so does Vala. Vala looks amazing. So let's go ahead and shuffle it up and see what we can do for one more. And I'll show you guys really quickly one quick thing. If you're going to go in for Prosperity, I'm going to show you guys the targets for Prosperity because you guys comment a lot, what do you banish for Prosperity index? So I'm going to show you. So what I usually do is 2 copies of a Jormungandr and of Leviathan. My copy of Aggregator is a good card as well to be able to use. Elder Nis is good. If you know you're not playing against like a back row heavy deck, use 92 because this card is good against back row heavy decks because it makes your opponent banish their back row, which is really good. And then also I usually throw in Donner if I don't see a copy of like Nibiru, because this is how I out Nibiru on my opponent's side of the field. And if I can't make this. If I can't make this or a copy of Baron, I use Donner, and Donner's just an extra option. So it's just really a toolbox card. So this is what I banish usually off the copy of the Prosperity. So just to show you guys really quickly. So let's go ahead and do one more and show you guys one more test hand and see what we can do. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle up the deck and see what we can pull off for one more test hand. So we're going to go ahead and draw, and we're going to draw into a copy of Pot of Prosperity, convenient. A copy of Trias, a copy of Mardell, a copy of Boss Fight, and Utgard. So this looks like a brick. This does look like a brick, but we do have Boss Fight, so we can save it. And we also have Prosperity, and since we already kind of put all those cards together, we can go ahead and just pull them to the side and banish them. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just to show you guys again. We go Donner, 92, Aggregator, Elder Nis, Leviathan, and Jormungandr. Usually you're just going to need 1 Jormungandr and 1 Leviathan anyways. I only usually summon them once because you can only control 1 of each boss on the field. You can't summon like 2 copies of Leviathan. So we're going to go ahead and use Prosperity. We're going to go 1, 2, a Diviner saves it, a Diviner saves it, or a Lopter saves it. Nibiru, a Har, Lopter's okay. There we go. We were okay. We have Lopter. We'll be fine. So we get Lopter to our hand, and what we're going to do with this particular play is it's going to be a little bit weaker, but we're going to go ahead and normal summon out the copy of Lopter. Ideally, you wouldn't have Mardell in the hand, so you can summon out Lopter and then get Field Spell, but it's fine because we can still get Har. So we're going to tribute this off, summon out Har to our side of the field, which is still pretty good, and then we're going to set this. This is like not great to draw multiple bosses, but that's something that you run the risk of when you play this deck, is you run the risk of drawing multiple bosses in your hand to be able to brick. And it happens, just to show you guys. You get these insane hands, but sometimes you will draw bosses, and that's okay. So what we're going to do is during our opponent's draw phase, we're going to activate our copy of Boss Fight, and we're going to go ahead and activate our copy of Boss Stage from the deck. Since our opponent did draw something, because this card also makes it so your opponent draws 1 card, it will actually activate the effect of Boss Stage to be able to special summon out a boss from the deck. So we have some live plays still, which is really nice. So we're going to summon out, I was actually looking for Utugar, but it's right there. We're actually going to summon out Needhog in this particular situation. I find it that the best way to look at this is the best one to summon out, which is Har. Then Utagard is the second best one for interruption. And then Needhog is like the worst because this card blocks like special summons that are monster effects, which is a little bit of a downside, but it's really good to be able to get on your side of the field because it does block special summons. But I find that Utagard being able to banish anything is what's really like where it's at. And the Har is like the best one. So you still get a special summon negate, and you do get the rip a card from hand and the negate here. So you still, even in a bad hand, get this. And also Trias, you can use Trias in the hand, which is insane. So if you do draw into Trias, you can actually tribute all three of these on your side of the field and be able to special summon out Trias to your side of the field, which turns into a draw 2 and a pop 1. Kind of like Guardian Chimera to be able to set us up for next turn. And we're set up at this point because now we can use the Vala and this to be able to get 2 monsters on our side of the field. The copy of the Mardell and the Vala will get us a search because you'll revive the copy of Mardell. You can normal summon this out. Unfortunately, this will banish itself, but you can still kind of turn this card into another play because you're going to normal summon it. And if you didn't have Vala, you could still get some plays. If we didn't Prosperity, you could have sent your copy of Elder Entity to the graveyard and popped a card, but we're still pretty set up. So let's go ahead, and I think that's going to do it for this one, guys, because this deck is wild to be able to play. You do get some hands like that where you do draw bosses and you don't have a lot that you can do, but you still get those really insane hands that you can pull off some insane plays. And just to show you guys that this deck doesn't break like that all the time, I didn't pile shuffle it. That's another thing. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to reveal the top 5 to you guys. Lopter, we're already fine. Trias, Needhog, Ash, and Mardell. So we're okay, but we don't want to see that Mardell. We really don't want to see that Mardell. That's a little bit bad. Again, we didn't pile shuffle, which is a little bit of a downside. So I think that's pretty much going to do it for this one, guys. This deck is super fun to be able to play. I absolutely love playing Generaider because it's such a powerful deck. Being able to make cards like Barrel de Fleur, Leviathan, Har, using one of the most powerful field spells in the entire game, which is going to be your copy of Boss Stage, is just amazing. And it's super fun. Like, this is like becoming seriously one of my favorite decks to play because it's so easy to make really insane boards, but you really want to win the die roll and you really want to go first because you don't want to have to rely on just your hand traps to be able to win the game. And again, let's just show you guys now that we pile shuffled. Imperm, Cross Out, Mardell, stop getting in my hand, Diviner, and a copy of Ash. We're fine. We have double hand trap, normal summon, make a copy of either Baron or send Vala to graveyard to get field spell, and we're set up. We either get a triple negate with stopping whatever our opponent's going to do against us, or we basically just get a Baron, which with a double or the triple negate, or we get field spell, which is really good with the Vala. So you get some really insane plays still, which is amazing. So I think that's going to do it for this one, guys, because as you guys can see, this deck is consistent. It's fun. It's amazing to be able to just summon out your copies of your bosses. And when you play this deck, you know your opponent's hearing boss music because you're summoning all the bosses because this deck is boss. And I absolutely love it. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you guys would like, check out the deck profile. As always, it's down in the description down below. And we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.